ORCA Co-working was birthed out of this idea that we could create a great space for people that maybe could work from home or worked remotely around the area in Mason, but that really needed a place to come to and wanted community. We really looked at Mason as being this great spot in between Dayton and Cincinnati. It's not just an office, it's not just an office space, it's a community of people that are driven and unique and entrepreneurial and creative, and I think that's what makes it a place that people start working here for that need to work somewhere, but they stay because it's the community, it's the people. I'm Rachel Pitman, and I'm Mason, class of 2007. I think I've always been a pretty driven person. I've just always seen things and wanted to make them better or just come up with ideas. And I was always driven by my parents instilling us this idea around having a work ethic. I remember enrolling at Mason High School around the age of 14 and choosing my classes. And I was an athlete, so I was swimming at the time, I played softball. But I remember looking at the business curriculum and wanting to know, okay, when am I allowed to take those classes? And then I remember seeing the class Entrepreneurs in Action, and I believe it's still in existence. And the teacher at the time was Debbie Gentine. And I remember just being so excited to take that class because I had started learning what an entrepreneur was. I couldn't even pronounce it, I don't think. I surely couldn't spell it. But I had always had this idea that I wanted to own my own business one day. We got to make our own business plan, and I still to this day think mine would work, but it was a restaurant, and it was called T. Naritzer, which is restaurant spelled backwards. Is this copyrighted? Because I don't want anyone to take my idea. But I had this whole idea that you would start with dessert and you'd work backward. Everybody would love this, right? You can start with the brownie sundae and then work back to, loaded French fries. That felt like a great concept to me. But I remember working on it with Debbie, and she, as crazy as my ideas were, she just encouraged them, and she would sit with us and brainstorm, and I never felt silly. I never felt like I wasn't seen. I knew I was young and I knew I was driven, but I felt like she saw that in me, and she encouraged it, and she praised my work, and she just spent extra time with me. I remember going to her class for lunch. I was that kid. I took all the accounting basic classes. I added on, any financial class I could take, and then I joined the Comet Zone. I think working with Debbie and the Comet Zone at Mason High School really gave me not only the inspiration, but the confidence much earlier in life than I may have had I not been in that position to be able to learn what it looks like to run a small brick and mortar business. I don't know that I would have had that opportunity anywhere else until later in life, when people would entrust that to someone that's young. I was 17, 18 years old, learning these skills and having a close mentor to oversee and encourage and teach me what I didn't know. And in a lot of places out in the real world, you aren't given that much responsibility until later in life. To this day, Debbie and I still meet monthly. She's a mentor for me. She's a confidant for me. Over the years, when I've had challenges or I've had to learn how to balance motherhood and working and marriage and just all these things, she's been such an inspiration for me. A year and a half ago, she approached me with her Made for Authentic leadership team, and she had this incredible group of 12 students at Mason High School, and their whole curriculum or plan for the year was all around leadership, but getting their hands dirty into local businesses and being charged with projects that forced them to get real life experience and real life skills. And I'd like to think that that was a chance for them to receive kind of what I received at Mason, that then instilled in me this drive to go on into my 20s and now into my 30s and start new businesses. And I think it's been really neat for me to see how Debbie Gentine and the other amazing teachers that are in that business group at Mason High School have continued to set up programs and new classes and curriculums to continue to approach life skills and business skills and really getting the students out of just a textbook and into real life opportunities to practice what they're learning in the classroom. A year and a half ago, the Mason-Deerfield Chamber awarded us the Innovative Business of the Year, and really that was in part due to people really starting to see this as a center for creativity and new startups. And I think that really speaks to what Mason is and the caliber of people that are in Mason and the community in Mason and the support that the community shares among business leaders and residents and the teachers and the schools, and really just this beautiful partnership across all those different areas for Mason. I think that really attests to the community here and the support and the friendships and just the beauty of everybody really wanting to see Mason thrive.